Hello students, good morning to all of you. Today I would like to talk about the next chapter and the next text, that is the third level, which is written by Jack Finney. Now if you are talking about Jack Finney, he is an American writer and you can say the novelist also. And if you are talking about this text, the third level, from the first thing that it is that the Jack Finney is very famous for science fictions and also for thriller stories. So you can also consider this the text, the third level, the story as a thriller because you find some thriller consequences in their story. Now, what is the summary, or you can say the short summary of the story? I would like to tell you first, and then we'll go line by line. This is the story about one 31 years old man, and his name is Charlie, and who is very exhausted and very much disturbed with this world war and after the world war's consequences and uh, the things which are going around in the modern days. And now he would like to escape from these consequences and from the days of and the experiences that he had right now that he was facing because of the world wars and effect of the world wars on the people around him and on him. Now the story is revolves around him, and right now this you can say that the escape is that he is doing the story can be considered as a time travel story that he was traveling uh, in a different age or in a different century, that 18th 19th century he went there, and that is the thing that he would like to escape from the reality. And unfortunately the that is the hallucination that when he met the psychiatrist, then he says that it's not a reality, it's just that you are trying to escape from the reality. And this is the thing that it's your hallucination. Hallucination means your imagination that what you want, that is the thing. And it is an open ended story that you find there. Okay, now let's start by line uh, discussion, or you can say the explanation before you read. Now, if you are thinking about any curious experience you have in your life and which is hard to believe for others when you sharing your experience with your friends, and sometimes it is very hard to believe that when you are explaining that this happened with me, then this is one type of experience that here the protagonist is facing and telling to the psychiatrist, but nobody is ready to believe his hallucination because it's just an imagination. So let's start. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetable that there are only two. Now, here, if you are talking about the story, the protagonist is talking about the New York Central, जो station है, right? It is a very big station in USA, and it is very big that when you entered, sometimes there are so many gates and so many doors and windows are there for the tickets, that some maybe unknown people can be misguided by the whole scenario of this central railway station. So here he was talking about that, and there are timetables. Timetables means stack of timetable. So uh, objects and typically one that is neatly arranged. Now you see that Whenever you go on any bus stand or any railway station, then you find the timetable that which bus and which train will go on which time or which platform. So there is one timetable also, and there are only two. There is only two timetables for that. But I say there are three because I have been on the third level of Grand Central Station. Now there are only two two levels are there. Means two floors are there. But here the protagonist is complaining and saying that there is third level of Grand Central Station, and he was talking about the third level which is not there at all. It's just his hallucination, right? That is imagination, also you can say that. Yes, I have taken the obvious step. I talked to the psychiatrist friend of mine among others, right? Now he was talking about his experience to his psychiatrist friend. Now what happened to this station that he was telling to his friend? I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station. Now he was talking about what happened exactly with him at the Grand Central Station when he was coming back from his office. And he said it was a walking dream wish fulfilled. Now what this is sorry, it was a waking dream wish fulfilled. Now waking dream means the dream which occurs when a person is awake or the person is not sleeping or he is in conscious. Now with a with open eyes, when you see any dream, that is a waking dream, wish fulfillment. He said, I was unhappy that made my wife kind of mad, but he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. Now, here the protagonist Christy was talking about that how he was feeling, that he was very unhappy. Why he was unhappy? Because of this modern world, and you can say the effect of world war is on the people of that area, that era. Now full of insecurity. Right now he is feeling insecurity because you can imagine that how the people were worried and insecure when they have faced the two world war that time. Insecurity, fear, then after fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it. And I just want to escape. Now, he would like to escape from all this insecurity of this modern world. Now, he was explaining that I was unhappy that my wife kind of mad, that I was going mad because of this modern world's insecurity. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Now, here his friend who is psychiatrist, he said that, well, who doesn't? Now, not only you, but everybody here in this area, in this region that who face the modern world, they know to wants to escape. They also want to escape from this modern world. They don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Now they are not like you that they are wandering. Wander means walking or roaming in a third level at Grand Station, which is not existed at all. Right? I hope you understand till here that the writer was talking about what happened. Sorry, the protagonist was talking about what happened with him at Grand Central Station to his friend and who is psychiatrist, and he was saying that it's not only you but everybody, each and every people are facing this insecurity, fear, war, worry, and rest of all. Now here you can see that the Charlie, that the psychiatrist would like to tell that Charlie was unhappy. Now, fact her wife did not like, and upon explaining further, it became clear that it is the burden of all modern problems, right? So now all modern problems that he is facing, and he would like to escape from the reality. What is the reality? That this is the insecurity, fear, war, worry, all. This is the reality of modern world, and they have to accept it, but they are escaping from it. Not only that the protagonist Charlie, but everybody wants to escape it, and in that anxiety, that his friend said that still he found bit odd to have been third level of the. This is really very odd for you that everybody is in the same state, but it's only you that who is roaming in a third level at Grand Central Station. Okay, now going further, but that's the reason he said. My friends and all agreed. Now this is the reason that all are agree with me. But for why they are and roaming? Because of this anxiety, because of this insecurity of the modern world. Everything points to it. They claim. My stamp collecting, for example, that is the temporary refuge from reality. Now here, the protagonist was talking about his uh, uh, his example, or you can say that his habit of collecting stamps, right? Collecting stamps. Now everybody have the habits of anything, and he has the habit from the childhood that he was collecting the stamps. Not only he, but his grandfather was also collecting the stamps, and that's he was thinking that that's a temporary refuge. Refuge means that is in order to feel protected, that we are protected. That's why he would like to escape from the reality by by collecting the stamp, right? So here you can see that but to escape from the reality, right? To escape from the harsh reality, that is a temporary refuge. Now, what is the temporary refuge? To collecting the stamps, right? Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Now he is comparing his right now present situation with his grandfather's situation, right? He's not only he, but his grandfather was also collecting the stamps. But that time they need, my grandfather didn't need any type of refuge. Refuge means any need any shelter or danger or insecurity that time, because they are very peaceful that time. Things were pretty nice and peaceful. Now he was talking about his grandfather's days, and that time before the World War, that his grandfather was also collecting the stamps, but that time he is not in a mood of insecurity, and there is a peace and nice, peaceful and nice days, pretty days for him from all I hear. And he started my collection, and from him I learned the habit, or the habit of collecting the stamp. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of four of practically every US issue, first day covers, and so on. Now he is collecting all the things that US issue, first day covers, and so on. And it's really very interesting things for him to collecting, that it is also compared with his temporary refuge. So by watching that stamps, he can relieve from this insecurity, the insecurity or anxiety of the modern days. President Roosevelt collects stamps too. You know, now he was also talking about this president, that he had also the same habit of collecting the stamp. Anyway, here's what happened to Grand Central. Now he started explaining that what exactly happened with him at Grand Central to his friend, who is a psychiatrist. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. Now he was talking about that he was working at the office very late. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment So I decided, okay, now he was very hurry because it was already late, and we know that he was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment. So I decided to take the subway from Grand Central. Okay, so every day he was taking the bus, but this time because he was late in a office and he would like to go in a hurry, and he was in a hurry and like to get his apartment very soon. That's why he decided to take the subway from the Grand Central instead of the bus, because that is the subway central from the Grand Central is faster than the bus, so that he can reach very fast to his home. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. Now I don't know why this happened to me, because every day I was going by bus, but this day I went to subway from Grand Central, and this happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie. I'm just an ordinary man like other here who are also having their subways from this Grand Central. Here you can see the picture also, that here he is Charlie, and here the other people are there. Other people are there, and they are also wearing the same attire. He is not looking different, and he is not special. So he was asking that I am just like ordinary man, like others who are roaming on the Grand Central, right? But why this happened to me that I am not getting it? Okay? I am just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan garbadine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. Right? He was saying that he is only 31 years old, and he was just like an ordinary man and wearing the same attire and the clothes the way the other people are wearing on the station, right? That is the suit and the hat. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me. I have seen that, and many dozen men I passed through that would just look like me, that I am not looking different from them. So that's why that is the reason, maybe that is why it happened to me. No, it's not happened, because I am the same. I am looking same just like the other people. So why it happens to me? He was asking the question, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Loisa, my wife. Now here I just want to try to escape anything, and I am not trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to go to home and to have a time with Louisa, and that is my wife. Okay, so that is only my expectation, that I just want to go early at home so that I can have a good time with my wife. I'm not expecting anything else. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level, where you take trains like the 20th century. Right? Now we started walking on a Grand Central rail station and went down to the steps to the first level. First level, he started walking, where you can take trains like the 20th century. 20th century की जो trains है, right? So from there you can take the trains. Then I walked down another flight to the second level. Now I started to walk for the second level, where the suburban trains leave from. Okay, now he had to have a suburban residential trains leave from. So जहाँ से second level जो है, that you can get the suburb trains. So उसको residential जाना था. That's why he took to the second level, ducked into an arched doorway, heading for the subway, and got lost. Here you can see that duck. Ducked means that they lower the head or body quickly, right? So now he started walking quickly into an arch means curved doorway, heading for the subway, and got lost. Now I was going to catch a train, the suburban train, right? Suburban train he would like to catch, and when he started running and started walking fast, into a arch means curved doorway. He got lost. Now this grand central जो station था, that is very huge, and it is very there are lots of gates and windows, and the trains are that anybody can be lost there. So this happened with him also. He got lost. That's easy to do. I have been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times. So now he is unable to understand that how it can be happen, because if we go there and if we are a newcomer and this Grand Central, if you can also compare this the Bandra station, right? And when you go at Bandra station, and if you are new, then you definitely roaming here and there, you cannot get the right station because we are a newcomer. But if you are living in a Bombay, and if you know each and everything about that station and you go 100 times there, so that will be not it will be easier for you to find out the things and to find out the trains and timetables and the station. So he was also asking the, again one question. So the first question he asked that I am like an ordinary man, so why this happened to me? And second thing, this is not the first time that I took the suburb train. Many hundreds, not only many, hundreds of times I came here and I know the Grand Central station. But I am always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors, right? Now bumping means knock or run into something. Now he was run into something, new doorways and stairs and corridors, because there are so many doors and corridors and stairs and windows are there. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. Now he was sharing his experience that once when he came for the train at Grand Central, that time he got into a tunnel. That time he was also lost, and he got into a tunnel, and that tunnel, after walking a mile long, he came out the lobby of Roosevelt होटल के बाहर आके खड़ा रह गया था. इसका मतलब वो दरवाजा वहां पे ओपन होता हो. So that he explained or share his experience that one day this happened to me. Okay, ऐसा एक बार हुआ था. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. Now second time भी ऐसा हुआ था. So that time I came to the office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. 3 blocks away था वो पूरा एरिया. तो वहां पे भी एक बार वो आके रुका था, because every time he was lost in stairs and in doorways, and every time he got into new doorways and he came out somewhere else. Once he came out in a hotel, in the lobby of the hotel, and second when he came out at the office building. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridor and staircase like roots. Okay. So here he was telling that he is comparing the Grand Central to the tree. Now you can see that how tree grows, right? So every time whenever you go there, when you find new corridors, new staircase like roots, right? There is so much changes you find there whenever you go. So the same happened with Christie also, that whenever he go, there is something new or new doorways and staircase like the roots. Na? Roots, whenever you see the trees, there is some new roots are there, and the same with the Grand Central. So he was comparing here with the tree. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park. And he was talking about that under the central जो square है, उसके नीचे there is one tunnel that nobody knows about, its feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park. उसके नीचे पूरा city area है that nobody have the feeling of it. And maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central have been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. So now he was thinking that maybe this tunnel is for those people that so many or number of people got through the years. Years Grand Central has been an exit. Now he was thinking that if something happened with the this Grand Central, so maybe there is a escape, or you can say that one type of exit, or you can escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. ना समझ में आ रहा है कि सब अब अगर ये maybe that tunnel I got it because वो ऐसा है कि सेंट्रल ग्रैंड सेंट्रल में अगर कुछ भी होता है, then to escape from that, because thousands of people, number of people are coming and going from there, so for the rescue or if something happened on the grand central, so this tunnel may be for that, for the escape, and that's I got it. And every time I go in a new doorways, so maybe I got it because of this way. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. Now, this idea is about the Charlie's idea, but this idea he didn't share with his psychiatrist friend. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. Now, how's the corridor was? Now, corridor was, I was in began angling left, and uska angle left side ka tha, and slanting downward. Downward tunnel, it's a tunnel, so it's slanting line. Slanting tha downward, or you can say that it's like a slope. I thought that was wrong, but I thought it's not like that. मुझे भी थोड़ा लगा कि it's something wrong, but I kept on walking. So मुझे लगा 2 times मैं कोई भी doorways में जाता हूँ तो बाहर कहीं पे भी निकलता हूँ. First time he came out at the lobby of the hotel, and the second time at the office. किसी ऑफिस के बाहर वो आके रुका था. So he kept on walking. That maybe this time he came somewhere else. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footstep, and I didn't pass a soul. Now, what he had, only the echo of his footstep, because it's a tunnel. So you found that the Charlie could hear only the echo of his footstep, and I didn't pass a soul. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead, that means open space and people talking. Now, again I found a hollow road, means empty sound I found in, means open space and people were talking. Now here I heard that the people were talking on an open space. The tunnel turns sharp left. Now there is a sharp left. अभी तक वो angling left में जा रहा था, slanting में था. Then after sharp left में चला गया. I went down a short flight of stairs. Now he came down through the stairs, and came out on the 3rd level at Grand Central Station. Now here he found the 3rd level of Grand Central Station. Now in reality there is only 2 levels. The 3rd level does not exist at Grand Central Station, but it's just an imaginary, or it's just an hallucination, or you can say that it's just an illusion of Charlie, that he found the 3rd level. For just a moment, here you can see that here he used that the word escape. Now this is the mind that is controlling him. Now his mind is commanding and giving command to escape from the reality. That's why this type of thought and this type of imagination and illusions are coming in his mind. Now this is the law of attraction. Also you can see that whatever you attract and whatever you give to your mind, it will come to you in your life. That's why he was all the time he was thinking about escaping. That's why this type of illusion is coming in his mind, right? So let's talk about the 3rd level. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the 2nd level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates. and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. Now, at the first moment, I thought let's go to the second level. Now, I don't want to go on a third level. Let's go to the second level. Now, here his mind is controlling him that don't go in illusion. This is imaginary. But again, he would like to escape from the reality and he turned to the illusion. But I saw the room was smaller and there were fewer ticket windows and gates, train gates, and the information booth is in the center was wood and old looking. Now, when he was looking around, that there are very few ticket windows and train gates were there and wood and old looking. Now the center is looking very old. Now you can see that this is the grand center and it is very wide and there are so many windows, there are so many doors and so many stairs are there. But here in on third level that he found very fewer ticket windows and train gates and it's a very it looking very old and very it's like a wooden and the man in the booth wore a green eye set and long black sleeve protectors. Now he was looking at the man who was sitting and that is the clothes that he was wearing is also like older people that is like his grandfather wearing, right? The lights were dim and short of flickering. Then I saw why. They were open flame gas lights. Now, right now, if you are watching the scenario of Grand Central, it is a very huge, very much lights. Lights are there. Decorative is it's a very decorative scene is there. But when you go, when the Charlie ran to the third level, there is very dim lights are there and I saw why they were open flame gas lights. Now that time that is the open flame gas lights were used at the station and here you can see that the technology is different in modern days and there is a difference. What are the difference between the old age and the modern age? So here you can see that in ancient times there is a open flame gas lights and you can say that dim lights were there in comparison with the modern days, right? There were brass, okay, there were brass spittoons on the floor. Now, brass spittoon means one type of metal, funnel shape top का होता है, used for spitting into, right? So metal का when you eat anything and if you want to spit, na, so spittoons that is to one pot top or you can say the pot was there to spit on the so that nobody can spit on the floor. And across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. Now again, when he was roaming on a station, he found and he got I saw one man who was and now what he was doing. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest with a garment worn on the upper part of the body. Now vest पहनते ना clothes के ऊपर ही vest पहनते. So I hope you understand. His vest pocket, उसके vest के pocket में से he was pulling out the gold watch. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch and frowned, right? So he braked suddenly and completely. Now he opened the cover, glanced at his watch and frowned, right? So पहले के जमाने में कैसी वॉच थी? हैंड में वॉच रखते थे, उसको ओपन करके देख के फिर बंद करके वापस. They are not wearing on a wrist watch. They are putting in their vest pocket. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Now here what is the attire as well as the look of the people on a third level. That is the that he wore a derby hat, black coat, 4-button suit, handlebar mustache. Now uski handlebar mustache भी थी. Then I I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 18, 19 something, right? Now he realized that this is not our attire. Now he was wearing the modern days 20th century's clothes and attire he was wearing. And right now when he looked around, that everybody was wearing 1890s clothes or attire. I never saw so many beards, sideboard, and fancy mustache in my life. Now that time there is a craze, or you can say that that is a style to have a sideburn and festive mustache. And first time in 1818 or 90s की जो बात करते हैं, that time people were having the sideboard and festive mustache. And Miss Charlie was very surprised to see this mustache because he had never seen this. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves and skirt to the top of her high button shoes. Now, not only the boys or a man, but the woman's dress and attire is also different in 1890s. So, how she was wearing and what she was wearing leg of mutton sleeves, skirts to the top of her high button shoes, right? तो वैसा स्कर्ट भी पहना था और हील्स भी उसकी ऐसी थी. Back of her out on the track, I caught a glimpse of locomotive, a very small courier, I, locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack, and then I knew, right? Now, locomotive means a powered railway vehicle used for pulling trains. Now, first time उसके पीछे और out on the tracks, back of her out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of locomotive. Now there is one type of engine, or you can say the vehicle, railway vehicle for pulling the trains. ट्रेन को pull करने के लिए, couriers को pull करने के लिए, that is one locomotive, and I have seen first time in my life. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. Now, he was imagining and he was in illusion. So, what is it 19th or 18th century? So, he came to the newsboy that where is a newspaper, and at the stack of paper at his feet. Now, he was looking at the paper that the newsboy has. It was the world and the world. Here you can say that the name of the newspaper is the world and the world, right? The world hasn't been published 4 years now. This newspaper is already closed, and from last 4 years it is not published. Then how can it possible that on third level he found the newspaper titled the world? The lead story said something about the president Cleveland. I have found now the headline. The headline is about the president Cleveland. I have found that front page scenes in the public library file, and I was printed. It was printed June 1894. Now I have seen that the Charlie was talking about that I have seen this newspaper in public library file. If you go in a library, that you find so many old newspapers. If you go in Vaikaka library in HP University, there are also so many old news about the time of Gandhiji, and before that British companies की जो newspapers, everything you can find on a library. So when he was talking about that, this newspaper I found in a public library, and it was printed June 1894. Now he realized that it is about the 18th-19th century. I turned toward the ticket windows, so knowing that here on the third level at Grand Center I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go. Now here you can see that here there is very less rush on the ticket window, and that's why he went to the third level Grand Station ticket windows, and he said that let's buy one ticket, two tickets for Luisa. Luisa means for his wife and for me. Anywhere in the United States we wanted to go. Now they want to visit somewhere, so they were. He rushed to the third level ticket window to have a ticket, to buy a ticket for him and for her, for his wife. In the year 1894, and I wanted two tickets of Galsburg, Illinois, right? Now he wants Galsburg's two tickets. Now in 1894, now how it possible that he is right now in 20th century and he was taking the ticket in 18th or 19th century. Have you ever been there? It's a wonderful town still with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the street. Now here the Charlie was talking about how is this Galsburg. Now how is the Galsburg? This city is wonderful, or you can say the town is wonderful, very big and old houses and lawns and tremendous trees, right? So, and in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawn. The men smoking cigars and talking quietly. Now he was talking about what is the scenario of 1894 summer evening. So it was a very long summer evening, and the people sat on their own lawns. Lawns means in the garden, and men smoking cigars and talking very quietly. They are very calm and peaceful. Women waving palm leaf fans, right? Palm leaf का fan आता है पूरा leaf fan, or they are waving palm leaf fans with the hand and with fireflies all around in the peaceful world. Now that scenario and that time is very peaceful. To be back there with First World War still 20 years off and the World War II over 40 years in the future, I wanted two tickets for that. Now he was talking about the First World War 20 years हो गए हैं, and now if you are talking about World War II, so 40 years in future अगर हो जाते हैं, so before that I wanted to two tickets for there. अगर after Second World War 40 years के बाद अगर जाना पड़ेगा, तो उससे पहले I wanted to go that. The clerk figured the fare. He glanced at my fancy hat then, but he figured the fare, and I had enough for two coach tickets on one way. Now, there is one clerk at the ticket window, and he said about the fare. Fare means the price. Now, what are the price for the two-person for the train ticket to the that station? So, but he was staring about the hatband, that the attire and the clothes that he was wearing, which is very fancy, related to their 80s or 90s clothes. But when I counted out the money, looked up, the clerk was staring at me. Now, when I counted my money, and that the clerk was staring at me, he nodded at the bill. That ain't money, mister, he said. Now he said that this is not our money. Now that is the difference, and that the currency is different right now, and 1890s currency is different, and the currency which that the Charlie had, it is also different. So that is the clerk said that this is not our money, and if you are trying to scheme me, you won't get very far. Okay, and the clerk was thinking that he was cheating the clerk, and that don't try to cheat me, otherwise you get very far. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old style bill, half again as big as the money we use nowadays. Now he was saying that the old style currency and half again as big as the money we use now. Old style की जो currency थी, so that is very big in comparison with the new style currency nowadays they are using, and different looking, and it also looking different because pictures are also different on the currency. I turned away and got out fast. मतलब he ran out very fast. There's nothing nice about jail, even in 1894. Now he was afraid of going to jail, so that is also very scared to going jail. So that is also nothing nice. So he ran away, and that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose, and this is the same way that I came. I left the same way I came. Same way I came to the uh, second level or first level. Next day, during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had, and bought old style currency that really worried my psychiatrist friend. Now, next day, what he had did that he transferred or exchanged the $300 out of the bank and debited, and that he bought old style currency. And इसकी उसने क्या किया? Old style currency that he bought, and that really worried my psychiatrist friend. And my psychiatrist friend was very worried about my this um, stats. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealer, but you have to pay a premium, right? Now here he was talking about that how to buy the old money. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. But I didn't care. Eggs were 30 cents a dozen in 1894. So now he was talking about the rate of the and the value of the dollars. $100 bought less than 200 in old style bills, right? So that is less than the old style bill. Now eggs were 13 cents a dozen. Now if you give 13 cents, then you will get 12 eggs, right? Dozen eggs in 1894. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Station, although I have tried often even. Right? Now, when he exchanged or bought a old style currency, and again he went to the Grand Central Station, but that time he never find that third level station. And I have tried often, and not only one time, but I have tried often to go to that station. Okay, so I hope you understand. Next we'll continue in my next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.